Number two, how do you know a man is on fire? The second sign of fire in a man's life is the move of the spirit in his soul. Every time there is a spiritual activity going on in his soul, that guy can be on a bike, a song is playing, he doesn't know how to shut it up. The Holy Ghost have taken over his space because he has opened the door. Jesus said, I stand at the door and knock. If any man opens, he said, I will come in and sup with him. That's a man of fire. That man can be talking to you, God is talking to him at the same time. That man can be on a bike, God is talking to him. He wakes up in the morning and there's a song in his spirit. He doesn't activate it. His soul has become a spiritual embassy. We are right. That's what happened to Jesus. He said, you will see angels ascending and descending from the head of the man, of the Son of God. That's a fireful man. A fireful man is a man that always carries spiritual activity in his soul. There is always a movement of the spirit in his life. When a man loses fire, that movement is truncated. It is replaced by movies, stories, and the lust of this life. But when a man is on fire, he will be alone and having fun. And you are wondering, who are you talking to? You can't tell. He has many visitors at many times. And sometimes this thing will graduate from your soul to your environment. I read the story of Maharishi of Mankailash. Somebody visited him. The guy was so on fire. Oh, God of mercy. He prayed until a point came. God took him and took him to a cave. And when this guy, Sadhu Sundar Singh, saw him, he was 400 years old at that time. Because the Lord took his heart, exchanged his heart, and said, you will not die. And when he met him in that mountain, the guy was naked, but every hair on his body was as long as his height. So he was clothed with hair. And the guy fell and fainted. He thought he met a white beast. And when he woke up, this man did some things and woke him up. And he said, who are you? He said, wait, St. Francis is here. And the moment he said St. Francis is here, they appeared in heaven. And they came back. It was like 5 minutes. The man said, we have been in heaven for 7 days. He had trafficked heaven and earth until he could calibrate the spiritual time as against the natural time. You can go to heaven for 1 second and you will not know that it's 1 year on earth. But there is a man that have trafficked the two realms so much that he knows the measuring parameter between these two realms. He said, we've been in heaven for 7 days. He said, but now let me talk to you. And he began to tell the man his story. He told him, some of the revival meetings you have, what happens is that God appoints some of us to attend those meetings. And sometimes we come with the spirit of just men made perfect. So you are in a meeting, power of God is moving. When you have not given command, maybe a being entered the auditorium. You were not aware. These are see, the reason the church can't fail is not just because we are praying. There are many mysteries that guard our existence. The devil can't understand it. There are many men today that God has separated from civilization to keep as intercessors over the church. Just in case the intercessors of a generation fail, there are many other intercessors that God downloaded from another generation. That's why the body of John was not found. Today, John is one of the intercessors of the church. So even if all the intercessors in this generation fail, there are many like John praying. The church will stand. But it takes fire to enter into that level of spiritual traffic. Fire is not just activity in the natural. It's not activity on the external. It's activity within. There are many whispers of the spirit. There are many movements of the spirit in your soul. So much so that you are so inspired that it becomes difficult for you. You find it difficult. That's the man of fire. There is the movement of the spirit perpetual in the soul. I'm not talking when you hear a preaching and you say, oh God, help me. Which preaching? Sometimes a man is so much on fire that if he enters a meeting and you are not talking from where he is, he will leave you in that meeting and he's in a trance. I'm not talking this loftiness of men that look down on ministers. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about intense spiritual traffic in your soul, that if a man doesn't enter that atmosphere, he can't bless you. You will leave the meeting literally, and the next time you appear in the meeting, they are sharing grace. You say, what happened? What did they preach? You were in another world. That's what men must carry to escape the defilement of this generation. And this may not be for ordinary believers anyway, but those who are pastors, they understand what I'm saying. Fire is spiritual activity in the soul of a man. And I tell you the truth, Everybody is on fire. It just depends on the spirit that is burning.